Hello and welcome to 7 Days of Yoga. I'm Laura and today marks the first step in this journey we will take together. Day 1 is all about connecting with your breath and setting your intentions for the path ahead of you. So we'll begin in our seated pose, Sukhasana. You may want to use some props for this. I like to use a bolster. Pillows, cushions work just as well, or a folded up blanket. You can place this underneath the hips, the seat, to raise them up a little bit to make this cross-legged pose more accessible for you today. If this doesn't feel good at all, then a kneeling position is fine. So we'll begin here in our seat, beginning to soften the eyes, calming down the body, breathing in and out, just taking time to notice the breath. There doesn't need to be any particular rhythm or strength of the inhale or exhale. Just noticing it. And this is one of the fundamental parts to always come back to within your practice. Just coming back to the breath, the awareness. Inhale. Exhale. Feeling the gentle rise and fall of the belly, the rib cage, expanding, contracting. The air flowing in through the nose and back out. Finding stillness. And together, inhale and exhale. We'll begin with some gentle seated postures for day 1. So in our Sukhasana, our seated pose here, begin by inviting the breath and gentle movements in with a seated version of cat-cow. So practicing with our breath, have the arms out in front of you, and as you press the arms away, feel a broadening across the back as you exhale and push the breath out. So and then inhale, open, inviting that breath in, expanding across the front body. And exhaling to push away. Inhale, open up. And then last time, exhale, push away, really round that back. Broadening across the shoulders. Then inhale, opening up a little tiny back bend here. So you pull the chest forward, open up. And then come back to neutral. Coming into a gentle side bend here. Taking the left hand out to the side. You can either place gently on the floor, or if you are on some bricks or bolster pillows, it could rest on there, wherever it feels comfortable for that left hand to rest. So placing it here and reaching up and over with the right arm, sweeping it over. Gently exhale as you reach over. And inhale into that side body, finding length. exhale to soften. And inhale back to center. And repeating on the opposite side. So taking your right hand out to the side and bringing that left arm up and over as you exhale. Then inhale to breathe into that side body. And exhaling to soften. Inhaling back to center. And beginning to invite a gentle twist into your body. So taking the left arm behind you, it can either rest on the back of the lower back on the sacrum, just above the seat, or perhaps on the floor behind you, wherever feels a comfortable position for you today. So taking that left arm behind, sweeping the right arm around, gently resting it on the opposite thigh. And then inhaling to grow tall first, so finding that length, the shoulders dropping down, the crown of the head reaching up. Then exhaling to slowly twist the body like a spiral staircase from the bottom of the spine, twisting it up and round all the way to the top. Keeping the gaze neutral and forward in line with the collarbones for now. Exhaling. Then inhaling back to center. And repeat on the opposite side. So we'll sweep the right arm behind, perhaps resting on the floor behind you, just lifting up on the fingertips to give you a little bit of length, and taking that left arm over to the opposite thigh. Inhaling tall, and then exhaling to slowly turn that spiral staircase round very softly. And then inhaling back to center, to our neutral space here. And then our last little seated pose we'll do here is a gentle forward fold. So if you're raised up on your seat, you can stay here. And the same if you're in a kneeling position, you can stay where you are, it's fine. And then we'll gently tiptoe those fingertips forward. And just find where is comfortable for you today in this pose. It may be here, maybe a little deeper. Just walk the fingers out to a comfortable position for you. And exhale, softening down. Find a spot that works for you. Inhale, feel the spine lengthening, the crown reaching forward. Exhale to soften. And then inhale, pad those fingers back to the center. Now we'll come down onto our mat. So any props you may have, you can just move those out of the way. We're coming into our lovely tabletop here now. So coming onto your mat, placing the hands out in front of you, lifting up and over onto all fours. Feeling the hands stacking underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips. A nice firm grip here into the mat. And you can continue to find length by pulling the tailbone back, the crown of the head forward. Find that nice neutral spine and that length. And then we'll move through some cat-cows, our tabletop versions instead of the seated ones. So again, similar as before, when you push away, we're exhaling and rounding, and then we inhale, we're drawing, pulling forward. So we'll do 3 rounds together. Beginning with the exhale, begin to push away, feel like you're pushing the mat away, pushing that breath. And as you push, you're lifting the spine up, arching the back, and the tailbone tucks under. Then inhaling, beginning to drop the belly down, pulling the chest forward, that little back bend. And exhaling, pushing away, push the ground away from you. Tuck the tailbone, arch the spine. And then drop the belly, pull the chest forward, inhale. And once more, exhale, pushing it all the way, tucking the tailbone, rounding, arching. And last time, pulling the tailbone up. Inhaling, pulling the chest forward. And exhale back to our neutral space here. And from our tabletop, we'll find a nice stretch across the diagonal of the body. So taking your right foot behind you and tucking the toes under as you begin to inhale and lift the opposite arm, the left arm up. Finding length, pulling that right foot back and that left arm forward. And then exhaling to come back to the center, bringing the foot back. And on the opposite side, taking the left foot back, tucking the toes under. And then inhaling to raise that right arm up, pulling the right arm forward, the left foot back. And then exhaling back to center. And then once more, I will try it again. So taking the right foot back behind you. And then the left arm up and forward. And maybe this time, raising the right foot up. Pulling the right foot away behind you, the left forward, finding nice long length. Exhaling back down. And again on the other side. So taking that left foot behind you, the toes tucked under as you raise the right arm up, maybe lifting that left foot up, pulling it away as you pull the right arm forward. Back to center. Beautiful. And now we'll come up into our first down dog. So maybe from your tabletop you might want to push up from here. I quite like to pad the hands forward a little bit just to find a bit of length for myself. But you can play with this as well, see what works for you. So on your tabletop, tuck the toes underneath and then begin to press down firmly with the hands as you begin to lift the knees up and push them away. Lifting the hips up and back. Arms begin to lengthen, pushing that mat away. Finding that stance that works for you in your down dog today. Lifting up and back. The knees can stay bent. The heels do not have to reach the bottom of the mat. Find the down dog that works for you. Inhaling and exhaling. And from here, we're going to come into our low lunge or Anjani Asana. So similar to our cat-cow, we're going to use that technique to arch the back, to bring the leg forward. So as we begin to shift weight into the left foot, bring the right leg up gently behind you, just like you're lengthening in your tabletop pose earlier. Then begin to crunch it forward, bending the right knee, bringing it up into the chest. And just like your cat, round the back up, giving you space for that right leg to come forward to the front of the mat. You can always pick the leg up as well and place it where it needs to be. And then lowering the left knee down. Finding that nice gentle space. You can play with the stance here and adjust yourself. And then inhaling to press and lift up into your low lunge. And begin to settle into this place. And I like to think of squaring the hips with a pair of scissors. So if you feel that you're opening, the hips are opening up to the side, you want to square them. Imagine your legs are like a nice pair of scissors and you're drawing them back in together to the center again here. So pulling that right hip crease back, the left one forward, finding that nice squared hip, that neutral position. Maybe you want to play with this pose a little bit and you could come up, keeping that left toe tucked under, perhaps pressing back and straightening that left leg, coming up here. The hands can come to center. You can raise them up wherever works for you. And then exhaling, softening back down. And framing that front foot. Well done. And then we'll take that right foot back behind us again. You can come back into your tabletop first and lift up into your down dog if that works for you. Or step it straight back into down dog. Taking a moment here in your down dog to inhale and exhale as we prepare to go into our low lunge on the opposite side. So beginning to shift weight into the right foot as you lift the left foot up, stretching it up and back behind you. And then as you bend that leg, curling it up into the body, just like your cat, pressing away. As you exhale, rounding the spine, giving you space for that foot to calm down to your mat, lowering the right knee. And then finding the stance that works for you. Maybe you need to step that left foot forward a little bit as you come up for your low lunge here. And again, like that pair of scissors, we want to find that length that works for us here today. Coming into our center here. Finding the breath. Inhaling tall. Exhaling to soften. Perhaps you want to play with lifting the back foot, curling the back toes under, pressing strongly into that back foot as you lift that knee up and rest here for a moment. Maybe the hands to the center, soften in. Inhale tall. Exhale the knee back down. Well done. As we come back down, framing that front foot, taking it behind us, coming back into the tabletop as we come down and prepare for a child's pose. So beginning to put those feet together, bring the toes together, take the knees out nice and wide, giving yourself a lot of space in this pose. Begin to press the seat back, the hips go back, resting on the feet. Patting the hands forward. And allowing the body to soften down. Coming back to the breath. And gentle inhale and the exhale. And gently patting the hands back up to center. And preparing ourselves for a Shavasana to relax and reflect on our practice. Coming down onto your mat, a supine position. Find a pose that works for you. Taking the feet as wide as the mat. Maybe a bolster, pillow or blanket can go under the knees here to help with the back. It's always a nice variation. A pillow or a blanket can be placed under the head and over the body. The arms can stay on the body or out to the side. Just beginning to find that stillness again. Coming back to the breath. And giving yourself a pat on the back for starting this journey today. Inviting this practice into your life is a big step to take. And I feel honored to go on this journey with you. hope you enjoy the rest of this series. As we discover the breath together throughout this practice. Softening the breath, allowing each muscle to melt down into the mat, allowing the body to let go, gaze softening, the brow, the jaw softening, the shoulders melting, the spine relaxing into the mat, arms being held by the earth underneath. The legs relaxing, tension melting away. You can stay in this Shavasana for as long as you need. Inhale in and exhale out.